Truth Entertainment Films and AAA Productions presents the AAA Podcast. We're aware, alive, and about it. We're here to cover all topics, no holds barred, from politics to sports. We've got you covered. No topic is off limits. No issue is too hot. This is the AAA Podcast.
Yo, what's happening?
Cleveland, what it do, baby?
This is for you.
What up? Hey, what up, Reggie?
What's
What
up?
up,
What's up?
D80?
Triple salute to Reds.
AAA
Triple salute to
podcast.
Jamar.
We've been gone for a while, but now we back at it like a crack at it.
Facts, major facts.
Bars. Like no. How y'all brothers doing?
Good.
Yeah, cannot complain, man. Just one day at a time.
Amen.
And painkillers.
Yeah. So we got a lot going on in the world, but I guess the shot heard around the world was number 45 being convicted on all 34. It's not like he got lucky and some of them didn't stick. Like all 34. Like
Wow.
Like somebody said earlier on the radio, they was like, I guess Trump did finally win the popular vote.
Right.
I was wow. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what's going on in news. But before we jump into it, just any announcements, anything's going on. Anybody got some stuff they're working on? I did hear, let me put this plug out there. I seen it online, so it's got to be true. If Reggie is the plug, if you need any type of party supplies and anything like that for going on, Reggie is the plug in the yo.
For sure. That's what's up. That's a factual statement. Very factual statement. Anything concerning food products, anything like that, let me know. I got you.
My God.
He ain't playing around.
No games.
You don't want no problems. Oh. So I guess we can start off with that and then circle back around to music. But we'll start off with
4-5.
4-5.
So I was talking to Pops about a week ago, right? We were talking about your wedding, and I was in my feelings, so I wasn't really trying to talk a whole lot, but he kept me on the phone for an hour. So we laughed and joked because it's just kind of how we do. He's filling me in on everything going on. And what topic came up.
He's so into politics now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy because I've known this man my whole life and we've never talked politics ever. But he brings up the 4-5 and how he's gonna get off, because this person discredited Michael Cohen, discredited all these people, discredited, and I'm thinking like, I mean, this is America, so what you're saying is possible. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it from that perspective, but to see all 34 counts after you saw what happened to Michael Cohen and how the defense kind of weaved in and kind of dismantled his testimony, his whatever you call it when you get up on the stand. It shocked me, man. My mom had texted me when it happened. Like she texted me like, wow, 4-5 is get like something 4-5 what is it, convictions or whatever that is. Like how it's 34 charges or whatever.
Right.
But she put 45. And I'm thinking like, what is she talking about?
Oh, when it first happened?
Yeah. I'm like, huh? So then I texted like with the question mark, like what you mean? And then when she said Trump got convicted of all 34 charges, I pretty much dropped my phone. And I wanted to call Dad right there, but I was in the Adobe Suite thingy, so I couldn't do it. But yeah, I hate to say I'm amazed, but I am, and I shouldn't be. That's sad.
Listen, my take on the whole thing is because I do a lot of online debating. Like it's my thing, and whenever you bring up his name or anything like that, it's just like motherfuckers don't believe nothing he do is true. And they always are, you libtards, you're so fucking stupid for fucking voting Democrat, you libtard. And I be wanting to tell him, well, I do tell him, like, how am I stupid? I know what fucking political leverage is, and clearly you don't. But that's another fucking topic. But that's just, if you're fucking slowing in mind, that's a colonial tool to try to confuse you to get their fucking way. That's
right.
that's
But Reggie, can I say something though, real
Mhm.
quick? I do did the contrary. Voting for Barack Obama
Mhm.
is really voting against my self-interest. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right,
But it helps the masses of people who need that. You know what I'm saying? Who need those subsidies and those farm bills passed the way they need to be passed and not broken down by Republicans. Well, until he lost power in the House and Senate and then
right.
couldn't get.
But that's not my point. My point is these
I,
motherfuckers
I
act
was
like
because you do what you're doing, and it's people who do the opposite, but not in a bad way.
right. But what I'm saying to you is this: they act like this motherfucker, no matter what he does, he's not wrong. Like, okay, so he's a New York City slicker. He got
Right.
convicted by some New York motherfuckers. Not no fucking people that's not his peers. And there's no way, if you really look into the story, there's no way that he's gonna win an appeal. Do you see that those judges? Have y'all seen them?
I've seen him say it.
There's 6 of them, and they all look the same. They're all black females. You're cooked.
They paint the picture. They all look the same. Sunshine.
You're cooked.
Good. I'll drink to that.
Me too.
You
You racist bitch. Because one thing I will never do, I will
Cheers.
never vote for a person that does not like black people or does not have black people in their best interest. So fuck them.
Yeah, I agree. But again, sometimes your own self-interest comes, like the people come first to a degree, and it should be that way. But a lot of times it's the opposite.
If I was a business owner, I would. I get what you're saying. Either way, I'm not discrediting what you're saying. But if I was a business owner, millionaire, he probably would be in my best interest. So I get what you're saying. But fuck him.
The crazy part is that again, I have family members who are like just distraught, and it's like, yo, there was a totally collapse was supposed to happen once when we were supposed to go to socialism and be this big socialist country and everything else when Biden won, and all our rights and our freedoms was going to be taken away, and all this doom and gloom. And don't get me wrong, I'm aware that it happens on both sides. Like there's this perpetuated fear, like if you don't get Donald Trump out here and whatever. I feel that these people, I don't see anybody running around that's quote unquote fanboys or sycophants or like Biden supporters like that. They just, but what I see is these people are so in love with the person Donald Trump rather than it about being, even almost to a degree, even more than so with their party that they, most of them probably voted in that party their whole life. It's not even about the party no more. It's about the person and not the actual whatever he stands for. And so in their mind, they're not even arguing about like, did he actually do it? Did he lie? Did he, whatever case, they move the goalposts to say, well, okay, even if he did it, it shouldn't, even if it is a crime, it shouldn't be a crime. And they're being petty and going after him for doing something that everybody does. And it's like, it's still illegal. It's the same thing what happened with the Trump org. Like, you're mad because this dude got caught up in something that is illegal. And now you're saying like the justice system is broken because it did its job.
Right. And these judges he appointed.
And they're like rich people. And then their thing is rich people get away with it all the time. Since when did we start caping for these motherfuckers to keep on robbing us blind and killing us through the system? And then when the system actually does something right for once, Lady Justice is fucking broken. She's a dumb whore. Lady Justice is a dumb whore now. We don't understand nothing and we're stupid. And
Racism never made sense.
Right. And that's exactly why there it is. Key word. is because he is like them in a way, but he's pretending like he has these poor people or whatever the fuck they are, his supporters, like he has their best interests at hand, because a lot of them, they want things to go back to how it was. So when they say that, like, make America great again, what are you saying?
But they don't even know. They don't even know what that was.
I was just about to say
Yeah,
that.
they don't even know what it was. It's just an idea they've been swindled and tricked into this idea of America was great.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't a racist term at first, right? It was it was like a slogan, a campaign slogan that they came up with to
Didn't
say
they steal
that
it from Reagan.
It was like a morph. But what it was is that America was falling back in the steel and the what the hell else did Reagan mess up? It was some of the industries that he was messing up, and then the people was like, we got to, bring up a campaign to say we got to make it, we got to come back. We're coming back. We're going and then make America great. You know what I'm saying? And then of course now it's make America great again, which wasn't. It had nothing to do with race. It had nothing to do with sex, color, or creed. It was about our standing in the world and how we lost that number one spot and really couldn't get it back. But it's amazing how somebody could take that. And actually, you can even look at it with now that I'm thinking about it, you can look at it with the Nazi symbol. You know what I'm saying? That was a Chinese symbol for peace or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And they switched it and started killing motherfuckers with it. So it's like whatever racism does, man, it's not something that's going to make sense. They just have to latch on to a cause, and whatever that cause is, they're going to ride with it till they die because they're fucking racist regardless.
Exactly. Right. Like, another thing I always tell people about, like when I see these campaigns, especially, I'm really speaking about local campaigns and state at the farthest, not federal. Why are these people sitting here talking about, oh yeah, we got to protect the border? This is fucking Ohio. This is Ohio.
Because they've been duped into thinking like it's
right. These people can't even make it here, and if they do get here, they're gonna do a job that you're not gonna do. They're gonna pick some fucking fruit or some shit like that.
I'm gonna tell you this, Reg. They were brought here.
Exactly.
They were
exactly
because they keep. Believe it or not, they're part of the infrastructure of this country.
Yes.
They work the jobs and do the things that us Americans are too prideful to.
Jamar, they're actually in the constitutional farm bill. These immigrants, they have paragraphs for them and protections for them in the fucking farm bill, and they're not legal.
So listen, if they got rid of all of them, the stock market would instantly crash, bro. Instantly.
Yeah, because we have no produce.
Right. They're the ones that's doing it. So listen, that's why when people try to act like, oh, the Mexicans, the illegals are coming. No, they not, bro. Number one, they're native. Let's talk about that. Number two, you are inviting them in. They are. They are. If they take a DNA test, I will prove it. Two.
Oh, I know what you mean. They're native to their bloodline or whatever.
Yeah. Two, you're inviting them in. Three, you're blaming them for shit that don't even got nothing to do with them. And until listen, we've all been out west before, right? We've all been to maybe Arizona, Nevada, places like that. If you never actually go to those places and you're black and you're from the East Coast, you will be confused to think that these people are not naturally from there, but they are.
Oh yeah, you go to Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California.
Yes, they are naturally fucking from there. But if you don't see that with your own eyes, you don't know that. It's propaganda, bro.
Yeah. And the other thing, so the reason the border is a hot topic is because of large farm corporation control. And what that means is like you have, I'm trying to think of I'll just use Procter and Gamble as an example, right? So they own hundreds of millions of acres of land in this country, right? And they cultivate them for all their products and their things that they're doing. But it's in their best interest to have their immigration policy tailored to what they need it for, so they can get these people in here to mine those fields the way they want them to, right? But when you're getting peeled off by all these other farmers and all these other industries taking your people, now I'm going up to Congress. I'm about to shut that shit down. So I throw $150,000 to a couple senators here, a couple senators there, have my lobbyists do his thing. Then all of a sudden, in the next farm bill, now immigration is an issue. And then I got those connections in my little political circle. So on Fox News, border. And it's like, oh my God, the border is an issue. And it's really not. But what it's going to do is going to put heat on the border, so it's going to slow up the pipeline for those my competition to get people to replenish the people that they got. And now, but my pipeline is legal, so I can still keep pulling and bringing in Mexicans right across the border as I want to. It's
crazy, bro. It's crazy. I learned that trick they do when maybe I said it on one of the other podcasts, but when I learned how Trump was like. Remember when he was going and talk about he was tired of all these people taking advantage of the system, retired generals, military people with their security clearances and stuff, and he was all they do is profit off of it. Well, this guy broke down that Trump truly did not like relying on American our intelligence people, not CIA, not FBI. He didn't like relying on them.
Right.
So he went to outside agencies. And so what he started doing was he used the guise of when he was cutting off like General Milley or whoever the heck, some of these other generals from getting access, and he would sit there and be like, they spoke against me. Yeah, they spoke against him, but also they were competition because they worked for these other contracting companies that was competition to the people he used. And so he was cutting out the competition and
using another thing to try to mask it.
Yeah. And that's what he was doing. So when he was
that's the American way.
That's the American way. So it was like, like watching how he maneuvered. Like, I don't think the dude is stupid, but he's greedy and arrogant, and he always gets in his own damn way. Yeah. So he's like, I swear I got this cousin, and I'm not gonna say his name. I got this cousin who he'll go to jail, get out, he'll grind his ass off and make a comeback out in the streets. And you be like, yo, like you killing it, you doing it. And it never fails. He goes from struggling to getting it to like new cars, new motorcycles, badass crib, new chicks. And then he cannot help himself. He always somehow turns around, fucks it up, does something stupid, gets locked back up, and has to start all over again. And that's like what Trump basically is. Like, he's the guy who cannot get out of his own damn way.
Also, in most cases nowadays, when you look at the people at the border, it's not Mexicans. The Mexicans have exploited that now. They charging motherfuckers to come through them dope routes and them old weed routes that they used to have to make it here. They have really no interest in coming here because they say it's too expensive. Some of them, they leave, like to your point, some of them got legal permits to come here, work, and take their ass the fuck back home. For real. Also, and now why are we acting like in 2024 that this border issue is just such a big deal? It's always been open since the beginning of time. Who the fuck just one day just say, oh, we got to shut down the border one day and make it a big issue? It's been like that since America started,
man. It's been this. Well, I mean, if you want to keep it real, the French kind of stole it first, but we stole it after they stole it, so it doesn't matter.
Right. But what I'm saying is, ask anybody, if you ever meet anybody from El Paso, right? Ask them about the border. They're gonna tell you that is no such thing. They just walk over and walk the fuck back. I know people from there that said they used to swim to their cousin's house for parties, swim the fuck back, and go home. I'm telling you the truth.
Hey, you got your trunk.
Right.
And they said their cousins over there had no interest in staying over here because it was too expensive.
Nah, most Mexicans that come across, man, if a lot of them like, yo, they just want to get the money to take care of their family and go back home. Like, in America, we have this, and pretentious might not be the word, pretentious, stuck up, funky ass attitude, like yo, like we the shit. Everybody want to come over here and be with us because we the shit, and y'all want to sit there in your place you from ain't shit, and that's why you coming over here. And to a degree, in some cases, some people do come from some shitholes, but there are a lot of people, especially a lot of Mexicans, who they hate some of the stuff that goes on in Mexico, but they love their country and they want to go back home. They're just trying to provide a living.
There's only certain places that's dangerous in Mexico. So most places aren't. It's just really the border towns more than anything.
Remember 45's campaign in 2015, 2016, where he was telling the Mexico government that they were going to pay for the wall that he was going to build. And of course, the Mexican government came back with an official statement. You pay for your own fucking wall. And then they pretty much cut ties politically. Right. But when Trump's in office, he doesn't allocate any kind of resources, no kind of funding, additional funding, no kind of soldiers to the border in his 4-year term. Does nothing. And they still champion this man.
You know
But
why?
he campaigned on something that he didn't even try to do. And most politicians, when they do that, they get held and nailed because they put you up. Then you didn't do shit, so they tear you down. But with him, it's different because it's something else involved that's not engaging in logic. It's borderline psychotic.
Yeah.
Listen, listen. I bet you if they take a study of adult WWE fans, I bet you they're in the 90 percentile are Trump fans. When he talks, is just like watching wrestling. When I get you in the ring, all he does is just blow fucking smoke. That's all he does is talk shit. Then you catch him in the live, then it's that's not what I meant.
Yeah. Y'all misunderstood me. That's not what I meant.
Right,
Or
you're
I was just
stupid.
joking. Like, yo,
That's
like
what I'm
they're
saying.
stupid.
Them is
They're fucking
colonial
stupid.
tools. I hate when motherfuckers try to tell you that you fucking stupid when they dumber than you.
Yeah. What else we gonna get into, y'all?
Well, wait. Well, let me add something to that before we jump off of it. The biggest I realized that the public, the general public, the common folk, and I catch flack for it, but fuck it, are stupid and ignorant as fuck. I don't even care if you got a PhD behind your a PhD in front of your name. I've watched a lot of these people fall for these parlor tricks and these stupid things. And I mean, I guess that was me for being stupid, thinking that just because someone is educated means that they're smart compared to the fact that they are just educated in their profession doesn't mean that you are educated in life and common sense
No.
and or politics or understanding.
You
the
can
bigger
memorize
picture
a
of
test
life.
and pass it.
Yeah, you can memorize a test and pass it. And so, I mean, that's part, I guess, I will say this. The benefits of Trump is that I had to reassess myself, reassess the way that I process things, and reassess the way that I look at things. And with doing that, it made me go take a step back, and it helped me because it did make me have to go look at this Democratic Party and realize, like, oh shit, yeah, like we've been hoodwinked and swindled. But it also made me look at the other side even more. But don't always don't always sit there and say what the Democrats did to us. Where the fact that they didn't pass nothing without some Republican signatures attached to it. That they, you know what I'm saying? Like both parties are guilty. And sometimes both of them are sitting there benefited off of it and using it. So learning that has it's been enlightening. So enlightenment, because Trump hasn't made me have to pay more attention and come off of autopilot and, I guess for lack of a better term, swallow a certain pill in the quote unquote the matrix. And yes, life was easier, more comfortable, and more free when I didn't know what I know now.
Listen, even though it's a different subject, that's how I feel every day, Jamar. Life was easier before I knew a lot of the things that I knew now.
Well, you
And
came into consciousness.
I be telling my brothers and sisters that shit too. Like I wish that, and I'm not gonna take it there because this is not what we're talking about. I wish that I didn't know that because then I could just it's an easy crutch to fall onto, like, So
Yeah. No, it's this book called News for All People, written by Juan Gonzalez. It used to be one of the Fox 8, the only black person on Fox 8 for a long time. Fox News, I'm sorry, Fox News. And in this book, it documents from from the 1600s up until the 1990s, the media, how media developed in this country and over time. So in North Carolina, I think it was Wilmington, North Carolina, or Willington, North Carolina. This is post-slavery, and this city is now allowed to vote in their mayor, their sheriffs, and their county treasurer. and they vote them in. And it was like, this is like 1870 something. And these people are black. The mayor is now black. The county treasurer is black. And it's like another top office of the sheriff is now black. And they run the town for about a month or two until the Ku Klux Klan gets word that these niggers are taking over in North Carolina. So they go in, and this is maybe one of the only instances in U.S. history where a Klan. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's facts. There it is. Where a militant group physically removed a U.S. mayor from his office and hung him outside on the street. Never ever happened, and there was no retaliation. And they hung that sheriff and they hung that county clerk too, all in front of everybody. And they took back power and put in their own mayor and took over that city. And nobody served a day in jail for doing any of that. No investigation, no nothing. They did it, and that was all based on racism and hate. So knowing stories like that for years, man, and having all this stuff in my brain about what this country really is, seeing what's happening with Trump and the following that he's got, the book maps out all that, and how it's just one simple storyline about a nigger raping a white woman can start a riot, a race riot, one line. So what they do is they would make it in bigger print, so people who would walk past the paper would see it and get aroused and act. It's just, so this country's a monster, man, and we just pretty much seeing the same cycle over and over again. That's all I was trying to say. It's like, it's just rinse, wash, and repeat.
Mm-hmm. That's why when I hear people say, like, not trying to, attack anybody or anything or anybody's views, but when I hear people say shit like, oh, well, Israel has the right to defend themselves. No, the fuck they don't. No, the fuck they don't. Listen, how you gonna go ransack some people's country, kill all kind of motherfucking kids and shit, and then when one person just fights you back, gets tired of you fucking killing them, taking every fucking thing from them, you got the nerve to say they got the right to defend themselves. First of all, you don't even got the right to be there. So no, you don't. That's just like saying if the natives here, when they was fighting back, that they was wrong. No, they wasn't.
Trying to protect their homeland. Man, history is history. Man, history is so. I now understand why when people come and they conquer, or like a lot of the times back in the days when they would conquer, the main thing they would go and target is the libraries, and they would burn these libraries down and else. That knowledge, I understand knowledge is power more now than I ever did. I understand now why Ron DeSantis in Florida and so many other places are so quick to want to change and rewrite history and dumb down history. I now understand that all of us growing up in school, we were indoctrinated. Like we were just taught these certain things, and you don't, and you're being taught like a Pledge of Allegiance. Yes.
Cowboys and Indian movies.
Yeah, like all these different things, man, and it's constantly like, yo, let me
you Indian giver.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's so many things, and you're like, you learn it, and you're like, what the hell? I've been brainwashed, and it sucks because
I caught you red-handed.
Yeah, and you're pissed off, man. At first, I got pissed off at myself. Like, how the hell did I? But I had no clue. Like, I didn't even know I was being brainwashed. I didn't even know I was being indoctrinated. I didn't even know I was being conditioned. And then when it works well, they don't even have to keep doing it. They just sit back and they watch the people they've indoctrinated constantly indoctrinate you. I've watched so many people I've even looked up to as black scholars, and the more I've learned, I'm like, wait, these Negroes ain't nothing but some other brainwashed people too.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy, man.
That's a fact. But listen to this. More to your point. You black African booty scratcher. I'm gonna tell you another one. This is some bullshit. The Africans don't like us. How the fuck do you know that? Who told you that? Exactly. Well, I ain't never seen no African say right to my face, I don't like black American. Me no like black American. I ain't never heard none of
them. They look down on it. It's not all, but some.
Okay, well listen, let's say that's true. Who told them that shit?
Oh yeah, because bro, they're part of they're brainwashed just like we are.
Yeah.
Like we're all in it. Like we're all stuck in this vicious cycle. We're all part of this program, this world order.
Exactly.
At it. I just didn't know. Like, so I used to be. Listen, there's like levels, and you get to the first level where you learn something, and then you're like, yeah, and then somebody comes along and they teach you to look at things different. So I went from learning about slavery and everything, and I was pissed off about that. And then I was like, yo, like, wait a minute, why did none of the Africans come and come and save us and rescue us? And then you learn about, like, oh wait, they couldn't, because at the same time we was going through our shit over here, that motherfucker was over there being taken advantage of and colonized over there. So then you're like, well, god dang. So then when you watch them and then you see like them come over here and you go to that part and they're like, yeah, because we fall into the trap. Like they come over here and they look at us as like these spoiled Americans and we don't take advantage of all these opportunities and different things like that. And they come take it, just like a lot of other foreigners. They take advantage of the opportunities. Yeah, they do. But when they get to that second, third, maybe fourth generation, they become just indoctrinated, just like everybody
they
else.
They niggas too.
And it's just watching it, and it's like, yo, and it was, I guess, on the grand scheme, man, it became disheartening, bro.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was, man. On the grand scheme, it became disheartening because you realize the problem was bigger than you even thought it was. Like it was just, you realize it's a lot more than just us Black Americans. Forget just Black Americans. It's a lot more of just people, period, in this world that is stuck under this system.
Yeah, I want to say something a little reverse of that because I know you're on Twitter or X a little bit, but it's a person out of New York, OTG, and he's got a huge following on X or on Twitter, right? And he tweets all the cultural stuff from the 90s, hip hop, music, I mean, of all kinds, but it's just popular stuff. So we all like, oh, I remember that song. Hey, you remember this dance? And he'll post something. Everybody's like, oh, I remember. And then he'll post something. He just all around popular guy. So a couple weeks ago, he posted that he don't vote. And gave some bullshit. Okay, great. But I kind of lost respect for him. And the reason why is because, like, I'm not gonna try to like make an emotional thing, but like if you read the books from our predecessors in the past, and I'm talking about Thurgood Marshall, his biography, there is several pages where people have written him in the 1930s and 40s. And these are young men who were at that time 16, 17, 18 years of age, who were accused of crimes and were facing death penalties and charges and on the run for shit that they didn't do. But because the mayor, the police chief, the governor, the state, all these people who gained power because Black people weren't using their vote. Mm-hmm. They weren't using it to get that. They didn't know that they could unseat those people until Thurgood Marshall got those letters, went down there with the NAACP and was like, listen, you can take these people out. They don't have to be your leaders. They're only your leaders because you didn't vote.
Yes. Oh my God, that reminds me of Ferguson, Missouri, bro. Oh my gosh. It was like, yo, like they were like crooked DA, everything else. And I was then when the voting numbers came out, I was like, yo, we are part of the problem. And it hurts. And then how much people, and buck might be the wrong thing, but how many of our people so vehemently buck against that thought process that maybe we aren't the total problem, but maybe we help add to the problem because of the lack of action, the lack of accountability, the lack of being able to go ahead and take advantage of these things. Yeah. And that's the most disheartening heart, man.
But
And
it's a fact.
Ignorance. It's a
fact.
form of ignorance, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
tell you
that's
why.
also conditioning. That's
Yes, it is. It is
it's-
because you got people that run around here in our community that go hard on the fact that voting doesn't do anything. There are people that really believe that, and there's people that make podcasts about it. There's people in our families. Oh, voting don't do nothing. They don't do nothing. Common sense
Man,
will tell you if people
I've
losing their
seen it.
lives to do it to vote, and they trying to do everything to stop you from fucking doing it. I'm gonna do it just because of that.
yeah,
Anytime you tell me not to do something, that's exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do.
Facts.
Especially if you
telling me
don't look
not
like
to,
me.
then there must be a
Yeah,
reason behind it.
if you
Maybe
don't look
I
like me
need
and you
to.
tell me to do any fucking thing,
Right.
I'm gonna do the opposite. Period.
You know. You already know.
Man, it's crazy on both sides, Reg. Like it's again, knowledge is power. And I always say it, and I say it again, and I probably said it. I know I've said it here before. Is like there's certain sayings you catch, and then you realize why they've stayed around for so long, and we hear them in cartoons and movies and everything else, and never pay attention to them. But I remember watching this old ass movie, and the dude was like, "You want to know the truth? You want to know the truth? You can't handle the truth."
That's an officer and a gentleman.
Yeah. And then when you hear that saying, though, because they got that from somewhere else, and then you realize, and you just realize just how much people really, in the reality of it all, could not handle the truth. I understand that as much as I could be like, yo, America's fucked up. I understand why I love America, but I'm not ignorant as to the means and the ways that we took to get to keep some of these freedoms and liberties and these prices that we enjoy. And some of this, we are some treacherous by any means necessary. Fuck over whoever we need to fuck over to get it done, country. And in that process, we've hurt, we've stolen, we've manipulated, we've sat there and put people who are in favor of the opposite of democracy in power because it benefits us because they can control that region and they allow us to do what we want to do.
Israel.
Yes. And now he bucking against us. Is a crazy part about it.
And talking smack with it too.
Yeah.
Telling you that you ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah. Bro, I swear on everything. And I got people I consider family I love who are Jewish. I will say this. The reason why it wasn't hard for Hitler to get all these German people to rally behind him, especially when he started doing this stuff, is because there were a lot of people in that time, in that place, and in those areas that had power, that were Jewish, that were abusing their power and taking advantage of a lot of the people in that area, and they felt that they had been kicked and beaten down. So I'm not giving justification to it. I'm just saying that it's easy to get people riled up or rally behind an enemy when there's a lot of examples of this person being an enemy or holding you down or oppressing you at a point in time.
I watched a video recently that showed that before he started executing, I'm not saying that murder is not right in no way, but before they started murdering the Jews of Germany, he deported them.
Oh, America sent them.
And America sent them back. And America sent them the fuck back to get slaughtered.
They don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to bring that up. He kicked them out first and told them, if you send them back, I'm gonna kill them. They sent them back.
In the words of Kendrick, you don't know nothing about that. Bro, it's history is vicious. It's beautiful. It's dangerous. It's inspiring for good and for evil. It's everything, but it is history, and history told the right, raw, actual way is also freedom, while realizing that you're not really free, that you are still being held captive. Like your mind becomes free, then you realize that you are in a cell, and this is not nothing new, and it is just like Wow, man. I don't know, bro.
The
It's
Matrix, bro. You're the latest one to
Matrix.
wake up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You just took the different pill. That's it.
And it's like I listen, there are people who are like, I don't want to know. Like they know, like they're like they're more comfortable. Like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to know it because I can't handle it.
And it's
I
all
could
based
not
on
live in that.
racism too. Listen, most of the fucked up things that the United States does is based on racism. If you look deep into it, it's never really
Well, that
been
was just a
a
a
European
common
nation.
cap. That was I look at that like that's the, the most recent form of currency, uh racism, slavery. That was just one of the most recent current forms of them establishing currency or cap. I don't want to say cap, but the capitalistic system.
They're still doing it
Um,
in Africa,
and
bro.
but yeah, they're still doing it. But to to the people who are, I feel, and I could be wrong, but to the people who sit there who really run the world, who really have this thing like, yo, it's just a tool. Not saying that they're not racist or that they don't hate other races, but it's a tool. It's a tool to get the job done. It's a tool to use divisiveness to create divisiveness on both sides. It's a tool to keep the ignorant ignorant. It's just another weapon
Yes,
that they weaponize.
and also
It's a plague.
the resources, all of the world's resources come from one place. It's only one continent on Earth that don't need the rest of them.
Oh,
So
Africa. Yeah.
yeah, and everything comes from there. Even this fucking coffee I'm drinking, indirectly, that's where it comes from.
So I just was that was intriguing. I again, it's just on this journey of self enlightenment, learning about myself, learning to correct myself, but also understanding how the world works, understanding that I used to be so caught up in wanting to be right because I felt I was right or just knew it was the truth, and then learning that that was one of my Achilles heels. Even if I was right, it was still an Achilles heel because I spent so much energy, so much emotion, so much passion in trying to show somebody in a debate, in an argument, that I was right, and then learning that you can be right, and but it doesn't matter if somebody's not wanting to see the truth, not wanting to see that, doesn't want that to be their reality, or doesn't want that to be the truth, and they refuse to see it, and then you gotta. I
Hmm.
understand now about letting people live their truth, and if it's gonna happen for them, it is. And
You
if
got
it's
to.
not, then it's not, because you got to. You got to let it be.
Did you see all those
Facts.
people? Did you see all those people? I mean, I don't agree with what he did, and I don't believe it. But did you see the videos of all those people that when Putin showed the pictures and shit of what they have of Jesus, how they turn it back?
Mhm.
To your point, you know what I'm saying? They want to live in their same truth. You know, they can't deal with the fact that somebody told them something different. So
Yo, so let's switch it up. Um, jump into hip hop, which
Yo.
man. All right, first and foremost, I don't think we potted and I officially said it. Maybe we did. I don't know. I probably was drunk as hell then, but I'm gonna start off like this. Without a doubt, Kendrick is by far the clear and true champion of the battle with Drake. I learned I
without a
respect
doubt,
Drake, and maybe he showed up, he fought valiantly,
yeah.
but some people play chess, some people play checkers, some people Kendrick Lamar just come across as this. It's a good thing he's a rapper and not put his brain power to some more deviant things, man. Like wow, like you talk about a guy who just took a rap battle and played psychological games on a different level. To me, that's what I felt that he did, and I felt like Drake got himself into a boxing match with a guy who was more technical in a sense, who had a better game plan, and made him come out of his game plan and use his own plan against him.
It's just like the Jay Z and Nas battle. It's just 20 years later. Okay, Nas is a better lyricist. Jay Z got more money. Same thing. Kendrick definitely won that because he's a real MC. You know what I'm saying? Drake is probably a better what's the right word? Musician overall. Um, Drake is gonna die with more money than him.
But the
Serious.
crazy part about it is, I think for Kendrick, which makes me, I've always respected and loved Kung Fu Kenny, but I don't think he cares the fact that Drake is richer than him. Like it only
Yeah,
works. It only works if it bothers you. If you're not at peace where you
true.
are standing, if you're finding, I'm sure he cares about being able to take care of his family, but I think he realizes that like, yo, that money not going to bring me total complete happiness,
True.
right? Um, I watched a guy come in who felt that he was in control, but I also watched a guy who, throughout this process, you start to realize that he doesn't have as much control as he thought or he thinks he has. Like this really made people look at and evaluate Drake in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
in for me, not I was never really I always respected Drake, and if you were to ask me musically in hip hop period, if we were just going not my personal top five, but just the top five for music hip hop itself, Drake would be top five of all time. His impact, his longevity, uh, creativity, all those different things suggest that he should be in fucking in probably in music period. He's probably going to be a top 25, top 10 artist of all time because of his impact and
Without a
longevity and
doubt.
everything. But not my personal. I can put my personal feelings to the side, but I'm like, yo, like, but you peel back these layers and you're like, as talented as he is, he's a very flawed man, and this showcased it even more. He's a person who's fighting his own demons, and you would think that somebody who seems like they have it all, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong,
No, no, you
doesn't really
definitely,
have it all.
you definitely, you're definitely not wrong, and I think you described it perfectly, especially that last sentence. He's a flawed individual, and it's now showing. I don't really
That sounds
look.
like everybody I know.
Yeah,
That was my next point. I don't look down on him for that though. I
no,
don't.
I
I don't.
don't.
I don't look down on him. That it shows that he's human. Fuck it.
Mhm. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I think the
He caught a
with
fade
this,
too.
huh?
He caught a fade too. He
He
showed
caught a
that he can.
fade. He did.
He shows he can be faded too.
Oh, but we already knew he could be faded. But his celebrity and his status was so big
I
that
blocked it.
it blocked it. Listen, when him and Joe Budden went at it, Joe
Hmm.
Budden barred him to fuck up, but Joe Budden wasn't a big enough artist for anybody to pay attention.
Hmm.
Pusha T had enough momentum, enough clout in the game to where we paid attention. But even when Drake lost, we still like gave him the benefit of the doubt and made this. It's like the Donald Trump effect. It's like he lost, but we still was like, yo, but he only lost because it's such and such, and you still put him up there, and he's still impactful. But what I've learned is it was so crazy going through this process is that we all believed in a hype that Drake was like untouchable, or even if he lost, he didn't lose until, and we just thought like he had a hold on the game until I realized that as of lately, he's been doing the label has been doing these parlor tricks with him too. And it's
You
a lot
know.
more money that's been going behind him because his actual impact on his own isn't the same. And I didn't realize it until I seen my daughter and her friends. And then I realized, like, wait a second, Drake's not that guy to them, to the kids in high school, and like 21 and under. Drake's not that guy to them that he was to 21 to, I don't know, maybe 40 or whatever the case. He's not that guy to them. They didn't look, they heard his music, they'll dance his music, but they weren't in love with him. He wasn't that god as in the rap game or the music industry to them as we got
Because
accustomed to him.
the undisputed champion is Father Time. You only cool for a certain amount of time, bro.
Yes,
Just like we all love Snoop. These kids don't give no fuck about him, bro. You feel me? So it's coming to an end eventually.
yes, yes. it's learning that though, man. It was just seeing it, and I never thought like probably because I'm so detached from paying attention to what these high school kids like. So, and I just thought Drake was on autopilot, but this whole thing made you really have to understand. Like, wait a second, no, it doesn't have the grip that you think. Then you go back, and if you really sat back and pay attention, and I used to pay attention to hip hop way more. We always kept waiting for the fall off. We seen the fall off of T.I. We seen the fall off of Rick Ross. We seen the fall off of Khaled. We seen the fall off of a lot of these guys. And we always kept thinking Drake, and we never paid attention to the fact that Drake's last few albums weren't that well received. They weren't that, but they were pushed. They were whatever the case. And we didn't pay attention that this man is 37 years old and trying to keep up with what the young kids are doing, painting his fingernails and
braids and shit
and everything else. And because you just see it, but it's out of your thing. But you look, man, you're like, wait a second, this dude he's
he making songs with city girls and shit. Think about it. That's what he's doing to stay relevant, bro.
Yeah, man, like, bro, I thought Trina and then was as wild as it got with women. But then when I heard him with Sexy Red, and the only reason Sexy Red was doing well on her own, but he took the Jay-Z formula, jump on whatever. He's got an ear. I'll give him this. He's got an ear. Whatever is up and coming, he's took the Jay-Z formula. You jump on that motherfucker right then and there in that middle early stage when it's bubbling, and you ride that wave. I seen Jay-Z do it with Jeezy. I seen him do it with Ross, and I've seen him do it countless other times. And I'm like, yo, that's smart. Juvenile, like, it's smart.
GK.
Yeah, like, it's dope. And Drake took it and perfected that formula. He's still a GOAT, even though he took the L. He's still gonna go down as one of the best, even though he's a lying motherfucker, like a motherfucker, because he was on LeBron's podcast, I think, the Talking Shop, and they was asking him about the ghostwriting things. He was like, yeah, but all my biggest hits and some of the songs that everybody loved the most, like, I personally pinned that. He brought up Mob Ties. It was like, so when all this was going on, and they leaked the reference track to Mob Ties, you're like, this motherfucker be lying for the fact that he gonna keep lying. Damn.
He be lying about his kids, so he'll lie about anything.
So, but in other news, my bro posted the let me see if I can pull it up. He posted in the group text the Dog Pound text. And the crazy part about it, the crazy part about it, that they just dropped a new album today.
I ain't listened to that shit, and I got it too. I'm gonna listen.
Hold on, you downloaded it?
No, I got that battle app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I have it. I listened to it, and there's some songs, and I was like, "Yeah, bro,
it's got some bangers."
It's got some, bro. The weakest dude on all the songs is dude who used to be one of my favorite rappers.
Don't say Corrupt.
It's Corrupt, man.
Is he probably trying to freestyle that shit?
Yeah, bro. Like, put a pen and pad in your fucking hand, Corrupt. Stop it.
He trying to freestyle it.
He tried to freestyle.
He ain't got it like how he used to. Anyway.
He just smoked and drank his brain cells away, man. And that hurts me. And if he ever heard this, I know he'll be mad. And I'm telling you right now, Corrupt, my bro was my witness.
Yeah.
You was one of my favorite. And I still respect what you've done. You was like my favorite. You was like the guy I needed to bring out when I would argue against East Coast rap fans, man. Like, nah, we got Corrupt.
He been weak since about 02. He been weak since about 02 though, for real.
He has fallen off since then. I know.
Mm-hmm. I think it was that last album, The Streets Is a Mother.
No,
I think that was
Space
his last
Odyssey was the good.
The Space Odyssey, Space Boogie album was hard.
Yeah, that's the last one.
That's the last one, man.
Yeah, and then after that, it was just like,
bro.
Man.
Rap, man. I haven't even really, like, some of them Dog Pound albums that came out, a couple of them, maybe mid. Like, I mean, I still feel like Daz do his thing because, you know, he good on the production side and shit. But Corrupt, he's not the same, man. He out of rhymes to me, bro.
Listen, Daz never faded off. How about this? Daz fell off on his beats like Corrupt fell off on his rhymes, but Daz got better with his rhymes or stayed consistent. It's kind of like the Mobb Deep effect. Did you ever notice, like later in their career, like Havoc got better or is gold up? Our Prodigy was going down.
Yeah,
it was like, man.
Hey, you know who the coldest one out of their camp though? Out of all them Long Beach niggas, you know who is? Tracy Davis, bro. Trey D is the coldest. I don't care what nobody says.
I used to love Badass, man. Badass put out a hard ass album.
Nice. He nice.
Thanks to Pac for putting him on RIP Badass.
Yeah.
I met him before too. He was in
Badass is dead.
To the aquarium. Yeah, he died.
I didn't know he died.
Yeah, he died. He was in jail too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was in jail when he died.
Damn.
I ain't even hip to that.
So RIP Badass, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Man.
He was the guy.
He was a guy, bro. Do you remember? Like, it was. We gonna date ourselves as far as age, but like, you just would be like arguing with dudes, and it would be like cats would dress, carry themselves, and talk like whatever they was rap fans of. Like, you knew all the Wu-Tang cats, especially in wintertime. You remember when that cats would come with the masks that the Wu-Tang had and they start wearing them, all the stuff like that?
Yeah,
Fletcher Weaver.
And Carhartt.
Like, oh, he a Wu-Tang fan. Then you seen all the Bone Thugs, because they would dress like they from Cali, but they had that Ohio twist on and the braids and everything. And then you seen all your backpack rapper fans, man. Like, them dudes, you like, oh, I know he a Diggable Planets fan, or he a Boot Camp fan. Man.
Yeah, then you have dudes with Chuck Taylors and khakis, man.
Yeah, so you had those dudes.
It was so wild. That's Youngstown.
Yeah, that was.
It was so flavorful, man. Very flavorful.
It was dope. It made interesting debates. I ain't gonna lie, like I was childish as hell back then. I ain't know no better. I was so hurt when Pac died, and I had to go to school every day. And you had all these like R.I.P. Ezel. Ezel was like a big Biggie fan, right? Big Biggie fan. And so I was walking to school and I seen Ezel, and this is right after they got Biggie. And I said, I was so ignorant for it, but I ain't know at that time. I'm like 16, 17. I'm like, they got that nigga. They got that nigga. It just, bro, like just the ignorance of me, like, wow. Ezel was like, man. Man, try to hear that though, man. Come on, man. Come on, bro. We be like in the cafeteria during study hall, and they're debating about rap like all day.
Wow.
But that's like how you said earlier. Like, that's one thing I'm really salty I found out about Tupac and shit. How he really, really was. How all that shit started. How it jumped off. Because back in the, like you said, back in the day, you know, I'm still a Tupac fan. I'm a fan of his music. You know what I'm saying? But back in the day, I was completely blinded in that situation and thinking that, you know, he just was the toughest motherfucker around. People was just fucking with him for no reason. Biggie did all this shit to him, and that is nothing like what happened. Biggie wasn't even like that for real.
Yeah.
And he
but we're learning about the guy next to Biggie was actually more of a problem than we always looked at Puff.
Oh yeah, Puff.
Yeah,
because him and Tupac didn't like each other about a female too.
Yeah. We learned more and more about just how long, how influential Puff was, and he just never came across like this guy that was just tough. And he's probably not tough, but
he's not.
He's
smart.
He's smart. And he's manipulative.
I think he's a little bit tough.
Huh?
I think he's a little tough.
Well, yeah, I heard he put hands on Drake.
No, he put hands on more people than Drake.
Yeah.
he
had real people behind him.
Too. That doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want, man. That he beat somebody's ass that we know in front of people, and they didn't do shit. So that's true. I'm serious, man. Ask Steve Stout. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, Puff, he wasn't no hoe. He just never gave the energy, the way he carried himself.
He's not a street person.
No, here it is what you see Dame Dash do on TV back in those times. You would expect Dame Dash to have that kind of attitude. So what Puff didn't show you is that he's Dame Dash behind the scenes. Like he's that same person, but when he gets in front of a camera, he's this meek, shy soul, which I don't know if that's a real thing or not. it seemed like it was real. It may be real, but it's still a persona that he makes up because once he gets away from that spotlight, he's a different individual.
Yes. Yeah, and that was wild. Like he was basically as bad. Maybe he did his business better, but as bad as Suge Knight.
Yeah.
If worse, but he just went about it in a smarter way.
Right, because he had a better formal education than Suge Knight, and he also had a better education in the music business than Suge Knight. And the reason why is because he was an intern, and he also was what's that one comedian that used to play on In Living Color? He was his personal assistant, so he learned everything firsthand. So he knew the ins and outs. So he knew how to get the artists, he knew how to get the money, and he knew how to get everything in his name. Suge Knight had to use muscle. He didn't. That's the difference.
Yeah, and then you learn more about Death Row and learn that hell, the Bloods was, believe it or not, bullying and intimidating and whatever.
Suge Knight wasn't that tough, if you want to be honest.
Yeah. Suge was getting more or less.
His persona was that.
Yeah,
you know.
The only thing that saved him from being marked out all the time is he still controlled the money.
Mm-hmm. So he knew that. He knew.
Yeah. Yeah, so he knew that he was smart. Suge wasn't no dummy, but he's a bully. He's another Donald Trump.
he's a bully.
You get ahead and you just can't get out of your own damn way. And so, like, learning that, man, it's.
But I take back some of what I said though, because he had a kind of a good education too. Because I forgot that he was Bobby Brown's bodyguard too.
Yeah, he went to UNLV for college a little bit.
Yep, played football. That's a fact.
It was, bro. I swear, it's like the more again learning more, and you learn about these guys, and you realize they were regular people with a lot of faults. Like Biggie was Biggie don't get no pass, bro. Biggie was a fucked up individual, especially when it came to females.
Yeah.
Like if you start learning about like, yo, he really did put his hands on women. He was a woman beater. He really did sit there and put a gun in Lil' Kim's mouth because she didn't want to rap a song. And he told her she gonna fucking do it. And he put a gun in her mouth and sat there and told her she was gonna rap this verse and everything like that. Like, wow. Like he was if he was still alive and that was a come out like today.
He wasn't the best person, but he's not responsible for anything that happened to Tupac. And the reason why he is not responsible for anything that ever happened to Tupac is because he told him verbatim about Jack. He said, that's an ill dude, because he knew instantly that Pac wasn't built like that. And he also knew Jack from Brooklyn. So he tried to tell you. So whatever happened to you after that, that's on you.
Yeah, I believe that. I won't say Pac wasn't built like that. I just think that
he wasn't.
I think Jimmy Henchman played more of a role in that than
Jimmy Henchman played more of a role.
Yes. That's a fact.
Pac was more like he was a guy. I'm trying to think of somebody we know.
He's an actor.
He was no sucker. So it was not like he wasn't built like that. Like if you want to scrap, he gonna scrap. He might get his ass whooped because he wasn't a good fighter, but he was gonna scrap. Like if you want him to scrap, he gonna scrap. If you want him to be, he had
a Cat Williams type of mentality.
Yes. Like it was just like, yo, I am who I am at this moment. But the hard part is realizing that all of us are older now, that this dude was still. The crazy part is he was still finding out who the hell he was. He was only 25.
He was
25. Like you at 25, you think you got the world figured out. Then you hit 30, you're like, oh shit. You hit 40. If you make it to 40, you're like, oh shit. Like I didn't know
the world in my rear view.
Man,
I just don't know why he wanted to be a Blood so bad. I don't get that part. With him.
It was survival. I think he was in survival mode.
He told his limousine driver, when you make a deal. I mean, you in the den with the lions, you got to be a lion or you get ate. So he was just doing what the people around him was doing.
He was trying to survive, man. He was stuck, and he was trying to survive the best way he knew how. So in reality, as much as he was a conformer, as much as he was I won't say outlier, but he would conform into the environment until he found a way. He was a survivor. that's what he did. He just survived in that environment until he could
obviously it didn't work.
It didn't work. So
It's rough.
It is rough, man. So
yeah, I believe it. If he didn't get killed that night, he'd have been back in jail anyway.
Yeah,
him and Suge both, and his career would have been done by that point. So, but at least he would have been alive. So I guess we would have checked for him. But yeah, he was going back to jail to the rest of those 4 years.
Yeah, because he probably would have revoked his bond for sure.
Well, yeah, he was on camera stomping somebody out.
Oh yeah, he was going back to jail, which might have saved his life.
That's what I'm saying. It would have saved his life, but it ended his career because he'd have been in jail for 4 years. Actually, probably longer because it was a violation. Yeah. So they make you go through your full sentence.
Yeah. So it's crazy. Did you know? And I don't know if I said
hold up. We didn't even get to talk about the dog pound, man. It's a reason why I put the cover up, man.
Yeah. Okay. So you put it up for a reason.
Okay. Let me educate y'all. Probably already know this shit. Who cares? Okay, so it always bothered me because the greatest song on that album, in my opinion, so I ain't talking to sales, no single releases, no charts, nothing. The greatest song on that album is I Don't Like to Dream About Getting Paid. Sonically, lyrically, there's no flaw in that record.
I think Dre mixed it too.
But you said Dre?
Dre mixed that song.
Well, there you go. Okay, but it always bothered me because I don't know what that means, right? But the first time we ever heard it was from Warren G, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't like to dream about getting
paid. I played ball through the halls. A CIS,
Snoop Dogg, call him dirty.
Yeah. So, and then I'm thinking, like, hold up, why is I Don't Like to Dream About Getting Paid a thing in Cali, like, or is a Long Beach thing, or whatever it is? But we don't know nothing about it. But they're saying this little saying, and it's actually in other West Coast records too. But then it hit me. They got that shit from Rakim.
Oh, damn.
Yes. He has a song. I can't remember the name of it. It might be the Dead President. Doom 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 doom. That record. Where he says, "I don't like to dream about getting paid." Like it was like a whole thing, and I thought about it. I'm like, oh my gosh. When we listen to the Dog Pound and we listen to Snoop and we listen to Warren G, they're giving us their renditions of the hip hop that they were raised off of.
Yeah,
and it ain't West Coast hip hop.
Because there was no such thing.
So that's what so when we listen to them, and then when Snoop Dogg gets on stage in the Source Awards in 1995 and says, "Y'all ain't got no love for Death Row, y'all ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Death Row," he's really genuinely hurt because you are his fucking roots. And it just blew my mind. Like I was like, oh my gosh.
Listen, the song New York, New York was a tribute to New York City. But what happened was when they went up there and it was in the trailer for whatever reason and got shot up, then they was like,
Biggie
what?
Did that. He said he went on the radio and told them to shoot it up.
Right. But what I'm saying is Snoop said verbatim before that shooting happened that it was going to be a tribute to New York City. But when they did that, he's like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to kick over the buildings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get that, but I was just saying
that
big kind of heightened that up right there. So yeah, he went on Hot 97. Was like, hey, they downtown right now, Manhattan. Y'all need to go down there and stop that shit. I mean, it's
later
because Snoop really wasn't never on that shit. He said from the beginning he ain't have nothing to do with it, and now I know why. And the reason why he ain't have nothing to do with it is because he knew that Biggie didn't have nothing to do with Tupac getting shot the first time.
Yeah, I think people like and actually in the article and Vibe, I don't know if it came out after he got shot because it came out after the album came out, where he mentioned Jimmy Henchman, and he mentions who shot him, but he never mentions it again because I think in that interview he thought he was going to die, or be killed because I think it was after he had got shot or whatever. But I struggle with it because he played a dangerous game, and if he doesn't play it, he doesn't sell 20 million albums or 10 million albums. He doesn't become the #1 rapper in the world, and he doesn't die. And that's some deep shit.
Damn,
it's deep.
Thank
you, Big Chicken.
Back to that dog food album. I don't like to dream about getting paid. That used to be. It's crazy enough. It was a song I used to skip over.
Are you kidding me?
Wait, because I could not wait to get to Let's Play House. Like, you know what I mean? Like that
Don't
was.
Get me wrong. Tell me what the flavor of the song. You know, it's Danzig's Jaws where your mama at. I get it.
Yeah. So, and then I used to, when I had a paper route back in the days, I used to like just put the cassette in and just walk and just listen to it. And then it grew on me more and more to like, it just grew on me to like, yo, the whole album grew on me to like, there's other songs on it that like, Respect was my shit. But then there's the one song, I can't think of the name of it, where it's corrupt, like, I can't, none of these hoes nowadays, because they be running around with that shit called AIDS, and every now and then when I do to you. So I can't do to them what I would do another session. A session. And that shit goes so hard.
One by one, they start to subtract. See how many motherfuckers got your back.
Because when it comes down to it, we out the clown.
We the dog pound gangsters putting it down.
Man, that bro, I keep telling people, like, I know I sound biased as hell, and I'm a West Coast, big time West Coast fan, but that dog food album, Doggy Style, The Chronic, and that dog food album, to me, are like three of the best rap albums ever. Like, in my mind, like, maybe dog food is not like top 3, but dog food,
it's
like,
up there.
It's up there. If you was to ask me to rate my rap group albums, dog food is top 3 rap albums to me. For me personally,
I'm trying to think who would be number 1.
Maybe Outkast might have like the album.
It's too many, bro.
AT-Aliens is like the shit. I love dog food more than I love the AT-Aliens album.
Yeah, I would have to put dog food above it. I'm sorry. I know the source got equipment. 5 bucks. I know that. I'm sorry, but it's just how I feel.
NWA is fire. You know what I'm saying? It's so.
Are we talking about duo, man? Like, I wouldn't. You know, I would just say like a duo, because you got to have a cutoff somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, if you do duo, then that's it. I mean, look, Outkast can have the next 3 albums.
Oh, Run DMC is up there.
Fair trio.
Well, yeah. Well,
man,
I mean, Jam Master Jay didn't rap, but whatever. Man. I don't know. I'll get it.
But, that's like saying Spinderella.
Stop it.
For real,
hey, Spinderella was hot, man. People don't realize that, man.
Reggie,
that was hot.
Dog Food was, again, what Death Row did good was they put together whole projects instead of just piece together of works of arts with song here, song there. It was like the whole thing was like, if you listen to one song, you skip it, you're like, oh shit, I got to go back now and listen to this. Like Dr. Dre, I don't know, maybe Dr. Dre didn't teach it, but you can tell that influenced Kendrick Lamar, how he does his albums. Like, it's a piece of work. It all flows. It's all
that's Dre. That's all Dre.
Yeah, that's Dr. Dre right there. Like, it's a whole combination instead of just a whole bunch of hot songs.
It's a journey to take you on.
And that's how that dog album was.
Well, and then Puffy said he copied that formula and used that for Ready to Die. So when you hear Ready to Die, it's the same way the Chronic was made. It's to chronicle and like kind of document a certain period of time, like a movie. It's basically the same thing.
Life After Death flowed like that. That's why I used to give Puffy props on. Puffy knew how to put together an album. Like,
don't y'all know that a lot of stuff that Dr. Dre got his hands on with his name on that Daz really did? You don't know that?
What was Daz and Superfly? Daz got a lot of credit that Superfly actually did a lot more of the work on.
But Daz got that check though.
Credit. Yeah, Daz got the check, but Superfly actually did. And that's why him and Dre fell out, because he get pissed because Dre would come in and change one thing, whatever the case, and then get the credit for it. And Daz used to be hurt by it. But Superfly was actually like, Daz would come in and play the keys on some stuff, but Superfly would come in and do like a whole bunch of other stuff, a lot of the drums and everything else on them beats that we was loving by Daz. Wow. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes, I didn't know it until like Daz was talking about it. He was like, yeah, like, you know, like Dre was stealing me and Superfly's attention. Like,
damn.
And like Dre would get credit for shit and whatever else. Like Dre got credit for Pac shit, and most of Pac's hardest shit that everybody was really bumping. I sound like that nigga as I'm talking. Like that shit that they bumping, you know what I'm saying? Like Devontae did or I did, and being Superfly did, or whatever the case and stuff like that. He was
Tupac
like,
said that too.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, Tupac used to give them their props, even though they fell out and everything else. Like,
yeah. I
love hip hop, man. I mean, it's
yeah, we can see your dissertation of Drake lets us know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But you know, shout out to BBL Drizzy. You know what I'm saying. Don't let this break you down. Keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you're doing.
He's taking it well. Because, I feel like he's taking it well because you know he didn't spit on that same beat. So
keep doing what you're doing. You players. Yeah, was that off the Dog Food album too?
Yeah. That was after Respect.
Yeah, Respect is my shit too.
I know you're popping your head because I can see. You can't see me. That was the shit.
Hey man, tell me what's popping in your head, motherfucker. What you gonna do in a damn
motherfucker?
Bro, come on, man. Now you get my heart breaks because where is that corrupt at?
Well, I mean, he's 57 years old, man. Come on.
Even when he was in where was he at after that album? Like the Streets of the Mother, he was still spitting, but I see the Entre album. I was disappointed in that double disc album he did. That was a major.
I remember when you got that. That shit.
Man, I paid $26 for that shit right there on Belmont.
Yes, and I was like, why? Like, what is this? There was like only 4 songs I liked on that album. Yeah, we can freak it
if you want to.
That was the shit right there.
That was the shit. But other than
that's what made me buy it.
That's bro. After that, it was just like the rest of it was like,
Seawalk was okay.
Seawalk was okay. Streets of the Mother was cool. He was spitting on it. He introduced me to Crooked Eye, and I loved how he spit on there, and that was dope.
The Alcoholics.
And then after that, Exhibit. He introduced. I didn't know Exhibit was out, but I didn't know who the fuck he was till I heard the Streets of the Mother.
Oh, I had his first CD. What you see is what you get now. It's that'll make the whole world go wild. God bless a child that can hold his own, flesh and bone. I don't know. Wherever I roam, I'm feeling right at home. I love that shit, man.
Exhibit. Listen, the best thing ever happened to Exhibit was to be able to start writing for Dr. Dre. Because when he got that album, he did after the Chronic. When he was on that, when he dropped this album, that shit was hard.
Talking about 2001? You talking about which album you talking about?
Talking about X. Rearrange the whole gang with motherfucking sound X, and then call it what you wanna call it. I'm a fucking alcoholic.
I like the one song. When y'all bitches stop acting like niggas.
Stop acting like
hoes on my dick. Niggas on my dick. They all on my dick. What? Doggy Dog is about to blow up. Oh, y'all Snoop Dogg haters need to slow up. Hold up.
Yeah. You know what, bro?
That whole CD was sweet. Now that
whole CD was, bro.
The next song after that was cool too. But he said he was like, damn, I forgot how it started, man. He was like saying something like Exhibit to show you the difference between real life and making a movie. I forgot what the fuck.
I remember that shit.
Him and M?
No, not that one. It was God,
making a record, something disrespected.
Time is steady wasting.
Time is wasting.
I'm about to go to it right now. Hold on.
Yeah. Won't wait. Just give me a beat that's banging. Give me a beat that's banging. I'll bust till I'm deceased.
Dog, king of the hook.
He fell off though. Exhibit fell off hard when he.
Yeah, he did. Hey, that Pimp My Ride shit, and then he got his ass whooped or whatever case.
See, that's not right, man. Y'all see. Why you gotta do that?
He did. He got jumped. He got jumped. It's not like it was a 1-on-1. He got jumped.
I mean, Ice Cube got beat up. You know, everybody gets beat up. You know, we don't talk about that. You know,
I run. That's why you run.
I mean, he tried. He couldn't get in the car. I mean, what do you do? He was in traffic.
Call it what you want. I'm a fucking. Yo, like that was
get beat up. The Locks got beat up. Everybody get beat up.
It happens to everybody. Oh, that one song. Dun dun dun. Or it took too long.
Oh, it's called You Know. It got Dr. Dre on it.
Yeah. Oh, this shit right here. You know who's running these fucking streets. The king of these West Coast gangster beats. Left alone. I think she wanted to be very drunk.
Walking on. And then no children in this motherfucker drop your tone. Ain't got no business even fucking with no microphone.
That was my shit.
A heavy artillery built to make the masses move.
I'm listening to that tonight.
Oh yeah, but so that's why I kind of tried to bring it up, man, because I just wanted to point out the fact that because nobody talks about this on no hip hop shows that I've ever seen, the fact that these West Coast artists, these gangster G-funk artists, really originate from that hardcore East Coast street sound.
Yes,
and they brought it back, but they had to, and then Biggie kind of put me onto this. He was like, when you come out, you got to take some old. And then you got to add what you got to it. And then you push it out to the masses and you see if they take it. And that's exactly what Death Row did, man. That's exactly what the West Coast was doing. And I didn't know that as a young person. I just thought it was just hot shit because it was hot shit. But no, they were building off of that East Coast shit, but they West Coasted because they tried to create their own sound.
Yeah, they just put their own they put their own twist to it.
Check this out. The Game do that. Listen to his song, I Got the Remedy.
Oh, yeah.
When I first heard that song, I did not even know that whole beat came from Public Enemy. It sounds like a West Coast beat, but it's not.
Bro, he's one of my biggest disappointments in rap too, man.
Because we knew what he was gonna be, Jamar. We remember that Eric put us on to him.
Yeah,
we knew a long time ago.
When he was Chuck Taylor and he was just sitting there freestyling, we was like, "Oh, this dude is
to the crack on my mama's couch." He was like, "Oh shit, the game is dope."
He's dope, bro.
His albums are sweet.
They are. He knows how to put together. That's that old school West Coast mentality. Like a lot of them prided themselves on. And I'm not saying East Coast didn't, because it used to be about the album. Yes, it was the singles matter, but dudes cared about their albums back then. Like they cared. Like your album meant everything. Because if you just had a hot single and a whack ass album, dudes was like, "Nah, I won't want to hear that." They would start trashing your hot single if your album was trash.
MCA, all those guys made fucking movies, man.
Yeah,
those albums were masterpieces. Those weren't. It's only one or two in that time period, West Coast records that I can recall that just straight up sucked. But they still tried to follow that guy, but they just didn't have the talent to do it like the majors do it, and that would be South Central Cartel. To me, who they had all those same elements, beats, lyrics, the same, prestige or whatever, but they just never hit because, in my opinion, they were very limited.
Havoc and Prodigy.
Yeah, Havoc and Prod.
Bro, it used to be the single was supposed to get you excited about.
People don't know that.
Not the opposite way around. It was like the single was supposed to get you excited. Like, yo, I can't wait to see what this album sound like. Like I remember Spice One, and I was like new to him, but when I heard
America's Nightmare.
Do.
Oh yeah, hand of a face of a desperate man.
Face, look into the face of
a desperate man. Oh, hold on, wait. That's KRS-One.
Yeah,
that's KRS-One. What about bang? What about bang? Boo. You get
West Coast biggest issue was they used to always give it up to the East Coast. The East Coast was just always looking down and just like, no, you little nigga, whatever case, it just never gave them. Yeah. So they was fighting for respect. But that Spice One album, like, had me like, man, it actually, Spice One made me like Method Man. I was late to the Method Man party, really, until I heard him on Spice One's album. When I heard him on that beat, and I was like, oh my gosh, who that nigga? You'll be out to the cow, nigga. Who would have died for real, nigga?
Why? Hell yeah, that was it. Who
heard me? Ice Cube raps
from the 35 caliber.
East Coast.
He rapped on a lot of East Coast beats too.
Yeah,
that's what made him sweet.
Yeah, a lot of Public Enemy producers.
They did his first album.
He actually raps like when he came out, he actually used to rap like an East Coast rapper for real.
And it makes sense because again, we don't realize it, but they had to start somewhere. And then even Ice-T said it. He's like, the West Coast rap scene was nothing.
Right.
It was more disco beats and dancing and shit. He's like, there was no hardcore West Coast rap at all. So they had to create that shit. But I just love how it's like they pull from hip hop history, but they don't get no credit for it. And I don't understand it. That's the part that I don't get. We like to talk about all this shit. Where'd this sound come from? Where'd this originate from? Where he got this style from this. But when it comes to West Coast rap, we don't say shit.
That's true.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
because people don't know.
Well, again, that's because I was listening to it, and Jamar and I'll be listening to all kind of stuff. Like I just go through the whole West Coast rip, but the part that I had to pause on is when I was listening to Don't Sweat the Technique by Rakim, and I was just going through his discography, and all of a sudden this I Don't Like to Dream About Getting Paid pops in there a couple times. And I'm like, oh, it just all of a sudden the dots just started connecting, man. I was like, oh no, we got.
Well, it's all over doggy style. It's all over doggy style too. Like a lot of stuff. Snoop Dogg basically
Lottie Dottie.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So again, so it's all, but we never just thought about.
They had no other place to go.
Congrats to our old West Coast OGs, motherfuckers. Y'all did it.
Queens in the Bronx. It all goes right there. They had no other.
In fact, they got a picture of MC8 and DJ Slip coming out of the Brooklyn subway, going to see whoever's in Brooklyn. I don't know. But I was just like, man, they really was in it like that. This is like 92, 91 maybe. It's deep, man.
Bro, it's just crazy. It's just it's amazing.
Hip hop, man.
I love how hip hop.
That Drake shit y'all talking.
Eventually, they just all started to borrow from each other, though. Like eventually, the East Coast got humbled, and I think they needed that at a point in time. And then I think the West Coast, then the South came, and the South fought hard for their respect, and then they got it. But I think now the South is starting to be
the South is everything now. It's all There's no
everything
sound anymore.
There's no sound anymore because even they are starting to be humble. Well, for one, because you can't treat the art form. You can't treat the art form like the drug game. You think you can, but eventually you dilute it, you break it down, and then you go from selling cocaine to selling crack. And eventually the people start realizing that it's fucking crack, right? You know what I'm saying?
What kind of a metaphor was that?
Eventually they realize like, yo, they become
whack.
Yeah, they become used to this weaker substance, and that weaker, cheap product isn't what made the art form great. That drew all these other people into it. That made it great. And so when you start doing that,
going down though now, bro. It's not going up no more.
Right, it's going down. That's what I mean, and it's because of that. Because like hip hop used to sell something to the people who were the biggest consumers of it, something that they didn't get to see, something that they didn't get to experience. It took them to a world that they was like, oh my gosh. And then at first, then it went fun, and then everybody enjoyed the ride. They danced their ass off. But then when we got into money, and then people like, yeah, we stuck. The little white boys and everybody like, we stuck. But they're like, yo, but I mean, that was cool. But we do that. We can do that in our own world. The rock and roll dudes, we stunting and fucking shit up. Like, what are we doing now? And so, where did hip hop have to fall back on? Where were they to go to? Because most of these kids in it today, and it's not me being older hating on today's generation, it's just understanding that everybody was like, yo, leave them alone, they making money. To me, I'm sorry, whatever case, that's the sellout mentality. Leave them alone, they making money. Y'all just hating on them, they out there getting their paper. You can't hate on nobody getting no money. Yes, I can. I hate on the fucking drug dealer that live up the street from me that's poisoning my community. Would you want me to leave him alone because he getting money? No.
That's a terrible comparison, though.
No, I know, but
it's terrible. Listen,
because that's our mentality. That's our mentality today. If the person is getting money,
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, like we've sold.
I don't like the comparison. That was not a good comparison. Right. But I understand what you're saying, though.
Like it's just the mentality of.
Well, what we used to listen to, our parents couldn't fucking stand that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I get
You're not
that.
supposed to like it.
No, I get that. It's not about not liking it. What it is it's understanding the cheapening of something. It's a difference between like not liking it. I can hear something and be like, yo, I like that. Listen, J. Cole, I like J. Cole. I can respect Lil Uzi Vert because Lil Uzi Vert is doing some different shit, but he's not cheapening the art form. He's taking it in his own direction. There's a difference. But there's a difference when you recycle the flow, when you keep recycling the same producers, when you just steal a sound because it's popular, when you just steal a feature because it's popular, because you know what's going to
the algorithm tells you that if you use these,
rap is not an original sport. It never has been. There's nothing original about rap.
Reggie.
Nothing.
Don't go there because we're about to get into racism.
No.
Yes,
I'm not talking. No, we're not.
Yes,
no,
we are.
This don't got nothing.
You don't even know it yet. Go ahead, go for
no,
it. Watch this. I'm about to break you down like a box.
Listen. What he's saying is that it's getting watered down.
It's been watered down.
What I'm saying is,
now, Jamar,
it is not an original anything. There's nothing original about rap. Because the beginning of rap is from other genres coming together.
Why?
Because that's what black people, that's what we do.
Nope.
That's what we do.
That's the conditioning in your mind.
No.
Yes, it is.
It's not a condition.
Yes, it is.
Listen, it is a fact that
Where did it come from? Where did it come from? Where did it originate?
Listen, where did it originate? Rap? It originated in New York City. But what I'm saying to you is this. Every beat that we've ever heard, any era, Bad Boy, NWA, those beats
prior to that,
those hooks.
I'm going back to African Bambaataa. I'm going back to that.
Listen, those are not original. There's nothing original from it.
Exactly.
Nothing. It comes from
and
R&B.
Why? And you don't even know why.
It's a million different reasons.
No. It's not a million different reasons.
We can't say.
I'm actually about to tell you why.
I'm about to tell you why. We cannot say that rap is not
tell you why.
The same.
So he's not Reggie. He's not arguing. Reggie. He's not arguing that point. He's not arguing the point you're making. He's just giving you.
I'm giving you the origin of racism because you can't seem to see that. Okay. So the reason you have hip hop originating in the Bronx is because you got disenfranchised African American people who were redlined and placed in projects where they had no access to instruments. They had no access to keyboards. They had no access to those sounds, only at school. When you go to the white man's school, that's the only way you're privileged to get access to making these sounds. And hearing them on the radio is your only access to these sounds. So the only way you can create is if you borrow from the people who took it from you in the first place. That's how hip hop was created. We weren't allowed to have those instruments. We couldn't afford that.
Listen,
we were disenfranchised.
I'm not disputing.
Exactly, but I'm telling you where it comes from. So don't just say hip hop's just not original because it's just not original. It's unoriginal in a sense because we didn't have a fucking choice.
Listen, right? Okay. No genre of music is original. I have the same debate. I'm gonna give you another example.
It's a reason why they borrowed from other records because they didn't have access to their own.
I argue with my brother-in-law.
That was done because of systemic racism. So it all boils back to racism. I just needed you to see that.
That's
not being original.
That's not my point. My point.
I don't care what your point was. I was making my own point on top of your point.
Right. Okay. So that's cool.
Because I'm tired of when people try to say, "Oh, hip hop's not this, hip hop's not that." They don't even know where it come from or how it originated.
Okay. So when somebody, but you're right.
But what he's
saying is, it's
what he said. Him saying that it's being watered down. That don't got nothing to do with that.
No, what it has to do with is you saying it's unoriginal. So when you say stuff like that, what you say when you say stuff like that without actual context, and these little kids listen to it, they take that, oh, hip hop's not original, but they don't even know where the origin or basis or origin comes from. So that's why I gotta say that, because I have to defend it, because you say a sentence like that and you just blur it out there like it's nothing, but it actually something.
What I'm saying is true. Are the beats or anything like that? Any rap song that you name are true. Even from the beginning, the first rap song is that beat original.
I already agreed with you.
Right, but there's no disagreement here, bro. All you did was
I already agreed with him on that. I was just giving him the origin of it, because when he leave it at, oh, hip hop's not original, he don't understand that that's done from socialization and racism and systemic racism at that. He don't get any of that. None of that comes out of his mouth.
Bro, instead of add, we can't argue about it.
It actually does matter, because you got people listening to this stuff.
Both of y'all listen.
It doesn't matter to you.
No, listen what I'm saying.
Made it either way.
Listen what I'm saying.
We can agree.
You're right. Both of you are right. What I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. We have to approach it within the manner of, let me add on to what you're saying to give it further context instead of making it an attack, is what I'm saying.
Man, attack, whatever, man. I didn't attack Reggie personally. I
know, but
it's not an attack. I'm just aggressive with how I talk.
I get it.
I still don't feel it's an original music, just like no music is original. Like I have the same argument with my brother-in-law. He's Jamaican. Guess what I tell him all the time? Until I prove it to him. Hold on. Time out. Guess what I tell him all the time? Guess where reggae came from? Guess where it came from? They got it from R&B. and he doesn't like it because he's Jamaican and he wants to say that it's original from there. No, and I can prove him wrong. Want me to tell you how I can prove him wrong?
How?
Telephone Love. They had nothing else to look up to except for Black Americans. When you go down there, when you look on their TV, the people they look up to is to us. Period. So every fucking
Man,
song that
same
they
thing in
ever
Africa, man.
listen. Every fucking thing they see on TV is us. So the only thing they could look up to is us. So when reggae first started, what was they singing? R&B songs. Period. We borrow from each other, but we don't think like that, and we don't give a fuck because they're black too. We don't
Nah,
care.
I'm more concerned about the hip hop origin than you saying it's just unoriginal and leaving it at that.
It's not original.
Again, I don't just leave it there.
Just like any genre of music. And we also created every genre of music in the United States. That's a fact. Even country music. Black people invented that.
Next topic.
Wait, did we create country music?
Yes.
I'm just asking because I don't know.
Yes.
Everything comes from racism.
Yes. We invented every form of music in the United States. That is a fact. Rock and roll, fact.
But it's come from. So I believe in. Okay, we can go to the next topic. My thing is that I hear what Reggie said, and then I hear what you giving the deeper context behind it, and it being rooted in racism. So it's like both of you guys are right. Reggie's just putting it bluntly, like, "Yo, hip hop. Everything about hip hop is," and I know that, and we all know that. We all can agree the origin, the origination of it, and my brother gives the context as to why we had to do that. I get that. Why we had to go and why we had to steal because of the certain circumstances and everything else.
Listen,
Yeah.
everything creative is made from poverty in most cases. That's why we're creative.
Well, that makes sense too. I mean, you get most of your biggest artists in no matter what genre of music, whether even it's classical, it was some starving artist somewhere
Exactly.
who was using his creativity to enrich himself or to make it or to be noticed. So your incentive to push yourself and push the limits of creativity is different, and which is why rappers struggle once they make it, because the very thing that drove them to not all, but a lot of these rappers, the very thing that drove them to be at their creative best was trying to escape from something. Yeah,
exactly. Get rich or die trying.
Yeah, like so.
And once they get it,
yeah, once you get it, you're like, what's next? Now you have it. Where's the hunger?
Right.
Where's your hunger at? Where's your?
I mean, it depends on the artist for sure, but again, the deeper root of hip hop, of course, we know is oppression and racism and things that if never existed, you know, of course, hip hop and blues and a lot of those music that we created would never be here. That's why on Warren G's album he says, the blues is totally American, as American as apple pie, as American as the blues. The blues is always totally American. And you ask the question, why? Why must the blues be so at home here? Well, America. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
we can't. I don't like. And Reggie, again, I just don't like when people just say certain like it wasn't just this. Like if it's anything else that you just leave kind of like out there without putting in context, because again, kids will hear that and be like, oh, this is, but they don't really understand, man. It's a reason why we had to steal drum lines and beats chords and what's the jump on it, Tonto, that Indian bongo thing. It's the reason why we had to steal that to make the first hip hop record.
But because we could stealing it from though. The drums come from us anyway. You feel me? But so again, it's ours either way. You feel
but
me?
Again, we had those people who were doing it have no access to drums because they're systematically erased. So they got to get a record and take those drums off the record to try to make 7 other different records to make one actual sound. And it's a shame you even have to do that. But again, it's born in those circumstances, man. So
you know who the most sampled artist of all time?
James Brown.
James Brown's drummer. James Brown robbed his own people because he robbed the old boy of his publishing to take it. But the dude, the funky drummer, that drum line,
Youngstown?
He might have been. If he was from Youngstown, then
yeah, he lived down the street from me. I met James Brown when he picked him up. I'm serious. I'm not lying when I say that.
And also, with the beginning of hip hop, another thing that people don't really say which is obvious because of the area where it was created at. You have a lot of different types of black cultures coming into one to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you got a lot of people that are Caribbean that are there too, as well as, which I don't really see no different between us and them anyway. I feel like it's more like a boat stop away or whatever. But you have a lot of different kinds of black people in one area, and I think that's what makes rap unique. Well, I know that's
That's
what makes
art.
rap
That's art.
unique. You know what I
Art
mean?
is nothing but taking in the environment,
Right.
the situation, the circumstances around you, and
Right.
expressing
Yeah.
the feeling it gives you. And I don't want to call it theft, but
It's
art
not
is
that.
just
It's not.
the expression of your environment, no matter what genre it is. It's just the expression of it. And so every genre borrows from something, is
Right.
borrowing from something, or and being inspired by something. Like that's life. Isn't that life really?
Yes.
It's just
It's racist. No,
Jazz has a lot of big influence on East Coast rap as well.
yes.
well, a lot of those jazz musicians were in the hood, and those rappers grew up under
Right.
them.
Right. Look at
I.e.,
Jazz.
Christopher Wallace had a jazz musician live 2 doors down from him that he spent years learning under this dude how to play piano, how to play
Right.
the whatever that trumpet, the trumpet and all that. He was classically trained, so yeah, they were there in those areas. So, and we don't have that. Where I'm coming from, I don't got no jazz musician on the
No,
corner.
you
So, but it's
don't.
just,
You don't.
yeah, you're right.
But we had
Also with Nas,
our
his
own thing,
father,
and
you
we
know?
didn't pay attention to it.
Good
Like we
point.
grew
Yeah,
up. Go ahead.
no, he's what are you about to say about Oludar?
Right, about his father. His father's a jazz musician. That's where, that's a big influence on his life. You know what I mean?
Yes. For us, hip hop influenced us. But it was dope for our father to go out and make music. As much as we hated at times when we have to go with him while he's with his gospel singing group, and we be sitting there at some church somewhere, some small ass church, or have to go with him to practice. Maybe we go to him while he got to go to practice. We sit there like, oh my God, can we go home yet? Shout out to Clay. Shout out to Clay. I mean Nate and Clifford. And,
Oh,
and
yeah,
and
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Shout out to them
right.
dudes, man.
Yeah, those are
Nate
guys.
Clifford. Yo, those dudes they always
Rest in
reminded me
peace,
of
Mr.
Jazz and
Booker.
Corrupt for some reason.
He's
Mr.
silly.
Booker. But it was through that, and then we got into rap, and then we were like, yo, we want to make our own stuff. And then we was taking
My back's against the wall.
yeah,
And my wick is in dust.
dirt. Dude. So we made it happen, bro. We used to take we had the little freaking cassette thing with a little microphone attached to it. We used to take his practice tapes and stick the paper ball the paper up in the little thing in the cassette tapes. Yeah. And then we be recording over his practice tapes and they didn't care at all. And we be over there rapping like da 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 da. Da-da-da-da. We had the little white, the little white tables, the little preschool or little whatever case
With
tables,
the-
little
the
white ones
big-
with the yellow
yeah.
leg.
Yeah.
You remember them little things? We be sitting there writing our raps, and the table bumpy as hell because of the surface. And we'd write raps with crayons and stuff like yeah. Like, bro, we
thought it was so hard.
we thought we was so hard, but that's what hip hop like. It was an escape. It was our escape. It was our we used to dream and imagine what it'd be like to live in California and Compton. Like because we would listen to rap artists like MC8 or we watch movies and be like, man, I wonder what it's like to be in Compton right now and we have to go through it a scrappy every day.
You never got jumped before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right off trees there. It wasn't fun.
Bro, I used to get jumped all the time, get chased home by I'm gonna say his name, Rashad Wiggins, and it was a little dude named Antoine. Antoine, they chased me home every day. Antoine, I forgot Antoine's name. Antoine's a little short dude. Yeah. And then finally, mom locked the door, and then I was like, ah! She was through the door, like, oh my God. And then after that, then you came. I think you came home too. Then we was beating their ass, and then it turned into a game. It went from them bullying me.
We had fun every day.
Yeah. And then we dropped Rashad off, not Rashad, but Antoine off the porch on accident. Remember?
Man, we did every day. We run, and I know somebody from the outside looking in had to be like, "These niggas crazy."
Crazy as hell.
We was just little kids having fun. I mean, we fought like the first 2 times, but after that, we was just having fun.
Cool. It was after that, it was fun. It was like,
which is so weird how that was, because at first it was like real, like we was going to go
real.
down.
At least it felt, maybe it felt real to them, but to me, get my ass kicked or chase home every day. Thank God I was fast. But it was
no, because I had beef with Derek and what's Corey just for a minute, because he thought I was trying to like bully his friends or whatever, because I guess word got back that something happened.
I remember Derek, and it was Melton, what, and Corey Melton?
Yeah, and I'm like, and me and Corey was cool, so I was like, hey man, it's gonna be what it is, but no, I ain't bullying nobody. They came at my brother, man. We was up there, we was like, what's up? And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, I mean, but if it is what it is, you know, what's up?
Yeah, hey Reggie, you remember one of the biggest arguments when we were younger was who was the fastest? Like that was like one of the most important things when you're in elementary. Like, yo, who's the fastest dude? Like that matters. Like recess, but also gym class was real. Like, yo,
the fastest motherfuckers that always was around when I was kids, for sure, was Walter Pearson and Travis Easterly.
Yeah, it was okay. They was fast. Travis, Walt, if y'all watching this, I know for a fact I beat both of y'all on a race.
You talking about Lil Walt?
Yeah, Lil Walt. Yeah.
Lil Walt was the fastest person you seen?
He went to Jefferson. Did he go
I'm
to
talking
Jefferson?
about when we was like little, not when we got
I
the teenagers.
I smoked that nigga like 3 times. What are you talking about?
Bro, unfairly, you was fast. You was fast.
I'm talking about that's the same age as me.
Yeah, well, we played Little League together, so we was all on the same team. Because like Walt and Trav was like a year behind. Well, he's a year in front of me, so yeah, he's still older. But my bro, we all played for the Knights. It was Mook, Walt, Trav, all of us. And only person I think that probably got him was Jamie. I think Jamie was the only person that got Jamie Melton, Corey's little bro.
No.
You know Corey Melton, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, you know Corey? Reggie? Corey Melton, Jamie Melton?
They used to always be with Fletcher and shit all the time, too.
I know Fletch, but I don't know them.
Okay.
No. Jamie, and especially Jamie. Jamie was built like a grown-ass man.
But I couldn't tackle Jamie. I know that. I know he wasn't fast. I know could tackle that nigga, man. That dude's crazy.
What's the call was fast too? Tony.
Pfeiffer?
Tony Pfeiffer.
Oh, Pfeiffer's no joke.
I beat him in the race too. I
thought he was on the field.
yeah, true too. I didn't know. Like, you don't know until you know. Like, all these dudes in Little League, I just thought they was like shit. Yeah. Like, no,
it's like a myth, man.
Yeah, it's a mental thing. And then you get to high school, right? And you get to high school and you're here, I'm like, yo, we loaded. I got Tone Fife. I got Tyrone Graham. I got Fig. I got like Boom. Like, I got like Marcus Rent. Like, all these dudes I like grew up with that were supposed to be these big badass dudes in Little League. And then you show up and then you start beating these dudes. And I'm gonna tell you who's the truth. And I said it on other podcasts. Fast as hell, faster than him because I beat him in the race was Joe Love. But he fast as hell.
Oh, Joe fucking Love. I hate Joe that. Fucking Love.
I hate that.
Not like real life. Not like real life. But on the field, motherfucker.
Joe Love was one of the but other than that, like, and I'm not saying these dudes are slow. I was faster than Fig. I was faster than Marcus Randall. I was faster than Tone.
Marcus Randall was sweet too.
Marcus Randall was sweet as fuck. He used to look like fucking Marcus Allen.
That's what he looked at.
Yeah, he did. He looked like Marcus Allen for real. Fig was sweet in football.
Oh yeah,
he was. He was.
He just wasn't tall enough.
He was too frail, and in reality he was slower. It's not as fast as he looked in Little League.
I don't know. I thought Fife was the best person I have ever played against. To be honest with you, man,
he just was faster than everybody, bro. Well,
he thought he was faster than and I never forget that. I like, you little fucker.
It's hard to catch him because at practice that motherfucker will run to one side of the field. You chase his ass over there, he'll dip back the other way and be gone. When I used to play with,
they did a sweep. And I thought Mookie, because Mookie played corner, and I thought he was going to slow him down for me because I was coming off a block, and then by the time I got to Fife, man, I tried to lunge at him, and he was like, "Zoop!" I was like, "Oh, you little fucker!"
No, he was okay. So unfairly, and my brother just told you people he's faster. I can tell you right now, Jamie and Corey Melton both was faster than Tony. I know that personally for a fact.
No, he didn't burn me.
No, I know. I didn't say he burnt you, but what I'm saying is that only person I seen give my brother problems with racing, because at Harding, we used to have races. Like, they used to have the little thing and stuff like that. Only person I think that got him was Corey.
That's we you know what? If we had that, you know how they got that measure that we need that shit, because he might have had like a shoulder, a shoulder.
That was probably about the only person. But so my measurement, my barometer, which I always thought I was slow because I could never beat my brother, but I never looked at it from the standpoint that being able to try to run with my brother, actually, I was still fast. I just thought I was slow.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think you were slow at all, man. But because you was like right behind me. So I was like,
but he was always faster than me. I used to be like, I used to hate that my brother played like he played safety on defense, but he was on a lot like the line with me like our first couple of years. Like we was both. He like second or fastest dude on the team, but we on the line.
Fucking dumb shit, Coach Carter.
Coach Carter, yeah. Shout out RIP Coach Carter, man.
Oh yeah, we got to close out, Jimmy. I got to roll, man.
All right. So listen, anybody got any shout out? Shout out to Madam and Major. Shout out to Wyclef.
Shout out to Sakpase Nabule. He's back in the States tomorrow. He's doing something in New York. Like a Grand Marshal, some kind of parade for Haitians, man. So salute, man.
Salute. Shout out to the Grand Marshal Parade too. Whatever y'all got going on, all that. Say it again, Reggie. How it's supposed to be said?
I think it's pronounced IAT.
IAT.
It sounds about right if you try to proper pronounce.
Yeah, no, he gave me something to read because I'm gonna sure ask him.
What to you? Watch what he tell you.
No, I'm gonna ask him.
Major Solomon, you probably can ask and he tell you.
But you are right about it being called San Domingue as well. But the Tainos named it IAT.
No, I'm just saying that was before it was, the Republic of Haiti is what I was trying to say, not like the actual origins of the island and the people on it. I wasn't going back that far.
Yeah. And Jamaica is Zamaica.
Zamaica. See, I didn't know that.
Listen,
deep
man,
shit.
What only makes our group stronger is the fact that we help each other, give each other knowledge, correct each other.
Hell yeah, because I gotta look that shit up now.
You're gonna be like, damn.
It's dope that on this platform we hold each other accountable too, not to try to ridicule each other, but to help further. And let's push what our common goal is. Coming here talking about real shit and putting out real knowledge. Facts. So I appreciate you brothers for that.
Right, love you guys,
shout out. All right, bro, go ahead. Shout out Big Chicken. Shout out Diallo Bands, because Miguel dropped in a few times on Instagram Live. And shout out everybody on AAA Sports. Shout out them brothers. Shout out to Ran. I thought Teran was gonna join us, man.
Shit, I thought he was too. Shout out to Ran. Shout out to Diallo. Shout out to you. Shout out to your brother.
Shout out C5.
Shout out C5. Shout out Big Chicken. Shout out to everybody in Yo. Shout out to everybody in PA.
No, if you need party hookups, you need the man to find you the food, the tables, everything else. Holler at Reggie. If you in a 330 and you having a party, hell, if you from the 216 want to make that drive, holler at Reggie.
Holler at me.
He's your party supplier. He the plug. Quarter pound, half a break, quarter. Hey. Yo, Reggie, you got any shout outs? Shout outs before I end it?
Nope.
So I want to thank everybody for checking in. I'm so used to AAA where we got an outro. We don't have an outro for this. I need to make one. But God damn, I feel like I'm supposed to shout somebody out and I'm missing it. I suck. Oh, I'm gonna send a shout out to my dog, Vivo. I haven't talked to him in a while. But shout out to you, Vivo, man. Love you to death. You my brother forever.
Shout out to Vivo.
Yeah, so shout out to Vivo. And we out this bid. Oh, shout out Darnell Boone. He was checking in, leaving comments on Instagram.
Shout out Darnell.
Yeah,
shout out to my dude Lamar McGarry.
Shout out Lamar, yeah.
Thank you for giving me that shout out on Facebook, bro.
He did. You the town supplier.
Yep.
Shout out to Two Fly too. My dog, man. That's my brother from another mother.
Shout out Two Fly.
But we out of here. Peace.
Good night.